Hello, football fanatics, and welcome to the Real Talk FC. I hope you're all doing well, keeping safe. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, share it, and just to let everyone know that you're all welcome on this channel. It's not only for me and my friends. Most of the channels out there on YouTube are particularly regional, so they only cater for the UK fans or most of it is the UK fans because we do talk a lot about the Premier League. But this channel is for anyone, whether you're in Singapore, whether you're in South Africa, whether you're in America, you're all welcome on this channel. And we do talk about all things relating to football, not just Arsenal and Manchester United or any other specific team. As always, joining me from China is Triv. How are you doing, bro? How's the weekend?
Hello, brother. Hello. All good. My weekend starts tonight, actually. Depending on when you watch this video, whatever tonight might be, such as the YouTube world. But yeah, I'm all good. Another ridiculous round of the most unpredictable, exciting Premier League football. So yeah, all good. Still enjoying the football. And looking forward to discussing an interesting weekend. I think an interesting thing for an interesting weekend for a couple of different reasons.
Yep, no, definitely. So, of course, it is good that we have a United and also supporter on the channel because we will be previewing the Man United Arsenal game that's coming up this weekend. But before we get into that, I want to speak about the El Clasico. I know it is a little bit different from what we've usually done. We normally speak mostly about Premier League, but like I said, we speak about all things football. And one of the biggest derbies in the world is the El Clasico. And Real Madrid were 3-1 winners over Barcelona. So Madrid fans, I'm sure you must be happy out there. Barcelona fans, what did you make of that game? The reason we wanted to speak about this is, does the El Clasico have the same weight that it had previously or in previous seasons? And the reason why I said that is because if you look at the players, right? Like if you compare the Madrid and Barcelona teams from the old, like the Galacticos, when the Barcelona were winning basically everything. And now, if you look at their squads, there aren't many big players you can actually pinpoint. Most of the players like Modric and Kroos are at the end of their careers. Same with Lionel Messi. I know he's a massive player, one of the best of our generation, but he's also looking like he's at the twilight of his career. And even though he will get you many goals, it's not the same. He's not the same player. So, bro, what do you think of the El Clasico now? Does it have the same pull it always did? Are fans excited to watch like we were growing up? Watching the Zidans and the Ronaldos and the Puyols and the Iniesta, Xavi. I mean, the list goes on. So, what do you make of it, bro?
I think that the key about El Clasico, the thing that made it so special, was that it wasn't just Real Madrid and Barcelona fans that got excited for El Clasico. Watching Zinedine Zidane take on Ronaldinho, watching Lionel Messi take on Cristiano Ronaldo was something that all fans wanted to see. It wasn't just Barcelona and Real Madrid fans. And I think
Yep.
now at the last Clasico, I think it was just them. I think the only fans that were interested in that match are the fans of the two teams involved, and I think it's definitely lost. It's lost some of its shine, and it's lost some of its shine because both clubs have made a couple of strange decisions recently. More so Barcelona, and something that I do want to discuss about El Clasico that I think definitely impacted El Clasico is the situation surrounding Lionel Messi. This is something like his worst patch or worst run in form for like 14 or 15 years for Barcelona. Granted, his worst run in form is probably better than 98% of
Yeah,
players out
but
there,
because the
considering his
standards is
ridiculous.
set, right? I mean,
Yeah, and I think as Barcelona fans, I'd love to know from anybody listening to this video, whether you're a Barca fan or not a Barca fan, but especially the Barcelona fans, are you happy? Are you happy that you managed to hold on to your player? I'm gonna use a an end game quote here, um, or sorry, Infinity War rather. Uh, when Thanos gets asked, "What did it cost you?" And his response is everything. Barcelona have managed to hold on to Lionel Messi. At what cost? Has it negatively impacted the Barcelona team? Has it negatively impacted Messi? His own performance is not that of the Argentine superstar that we know him to be. He doesn't seem to be 100% there, and I think as consequently, the rest of the Barcelona team don't seem to be 100% there either. So I think that is quite a worry for Barcelona fans, and I'd love to know, like you said earlier, I'd love to know what their thoughts are on the current situation at the Catalonia-based club. Um, I want to ask you a question. What do you or how do you rate uh, Real Madrid's captain Sergio Ramos?
oh, me and you have had these chats for years. How we both admire him. Like he does have a tendency to get a lot of red cards, but I mean the his trophy cabinet just speaks for itself, right? He's won multiple trophies throughout his year, like multiple Champions Leagues, league titles, World Cup, two European Cups. The list goes on and on and on. And the fact that for me he's the only Galactico that's left from that original Galactico side speaks volumes of his caliber. I mean, we've been watching football for over 20 years, and we've always known Sergio Ramos. His longevity is another aspect that should be admired. To be at that top level consistently for almost 20 years speaks volumes of what an amazing player he is. And it's not just that he's been good. I know, like, defensively he's great, right? But for me, what puts him above the rest of the defenders is in big games, he always turns up with a goal or two. And that's what makes you a great player, right? In big games, like if you look back at all the big players that played, we mentioned the Zidanes and the Ronaldinhos. In big games, they stepped up, and even though they were amongst these superstars, you could always rely on those players. And Sergio Ramos has been doing this consistently. He's scored in Champions League finals, in El Clasicos, in any big game, in European competitions, in the World Cup. He always comes up with a goal or two. And then the fact that he's such a high scoring defender just adds to his quality. So I have nothing but admiration. And for me, he will go down in the history books as one of the best centre backs in the world. Uh, there are only a few, like I know Maldini and Nesta, and those were great centre backs. But he's a different kind of centre back. Also, I didn't watch a lot of Maldini because we were very young, but we've grown up with Sergio Ramos performing at the highest level year in year out. So yeah, I mean I can go on and on, but I'm sure you have similar feelings about Sergio Ramos.
I don't have anything to add to that other than the fact that I agree with that 100%. I think his leadership qualities, just the fact that, like you said, the fact that he's the only Galactico left of that original Galactico team, and he's still able to pull the players that he has around him and to make them shine. I think that's fantastic. So, on that, do you think that this El Clasico was an indication of where the La Liga title is going to end up this season?
I don't think so. A lot like the Premier League. If you look at the table in La Liga, it's also very tight. at the top. Um, but all teams, I don't know, is it because of COVID? Is it? I'm blaming it on COVID because the whole fixture list has just changed. There's no fans. It's made a whole completely different outcome to what we have normally expected from teams and from from their previous results. But now, if I sit here and tell you yes, that's going to make a major impact, I think I'll be lying. Um, it's so tight at the top, both in the Premier League and in La Liga. And we have no idea what's going to happen. None of those teams, it's not like in previous years we mentioned where those two teams were well above the rest of the pack. I mean, teams like Atletico Madrid, Villarreal, I mean, Unai Emery is there, and he's doing a decent job so far. So
Good evening.
yeah, good evening, but he's having a good evening at Villarreal, so I don't think you can sit here with an unbiased opinion and say that yes, Madrid winning this lays a marker for the rest of the season. I can guarantee you in the next few games they're going to have an upset, a draw or a loss. So yeah, no, it doesn't lay out any markers for the rest of the season. As we've seen, we can't predict anything at the moment. How about you, bro? What do you think? Do you agree with me, or do you think Madrid have an
Yeah,
upper hand
I
now?
think it's I think like I said, if I was a Barcelona fan, I'd be concerned. I don't think that they're going to challenge for the league this season. I do think it'll be a shootout between the two Madrid clubs, especially considering that Barcelona sold Luis Suarez
Yeah,
inexplicably to Atletico Madrid. That is the strangest situation. It's just it's baffling. Sell him outside of the league. Do not sell him to one of your two biggest rivals. It didn't make any sense to me.
yeah,
So yeah, I also don't think that it's a definite case of Madrid being champions now. But I would be concerned if I was a Barcelona fan at this stage. But moving on from
Before we
one,
move on, I just want to
yeah.
pay a special mention to Ansu Fati. I think he's been doing brilliantly. So even though Messi might be on the end of his career or towards the end of his career, this kid Ansu, or whatever, however you pronounce his name, he looks like a real talent. The youngest player to score in the El Clasico and this debut game for Spain, debut game for Barcelona. Uh, this kid looks like a real deal. So Barcelona fans, I'm sure most of you agree. What do you think of this young prospect who's already shown what a capable player he is and he will be for years to come? But yeah, I think that's all. If you don't want to add anything for the El Clasico,
No, I'm excited to move on to the next derby that's lost its shine.
yeah. Well, from two Spanish giants to two, I would say, sleeping English giants because they haven't been at the top, anywhere near the top for years now. And of course, we are talking about Man United and Arsenal. They will be playing at Old Trafford this weekend, and I mean, I don't know if I'm even looking forward to that because of our result in the previous weekend. Uh, yeah, bro, I think you can start us off. What do you think will happen, and how do you think this game will be? And then I'll come in and have a little
Yeah.
rant maybe on Arsenal.
Yes, I think before I look at the Arsenal fixture, I have to look at um, the last performance of Man United. You're only as good as your last run out.
Yep.
And I think Man United were good against Chelsea. I don't. I know that there's a lot of criticism, a lot of people calling for Donny van de Beek to have started the game, and I think overall, I think what we saw in that game was on a rare occasion this season in the Premier League, two teams that were actually capable of defending, which
Yeah, that was
we've not
surprising.
seen in the Premier League. Yeah, I think that's only the second goalless draw
There
in
was
the league
West
so
Brom
far this
Burnley
season
the
from
weekend
Burnley.
before. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I think look, short and sweet. I think overall, I think Man United were the stronger team against Chelsea. I think Mendy made the difference between Chelsea getting 8 points and coming away with no point. He made a couple of really good saves off of Marcus Rashford. I do think, and I know I'm going to take heat for saying this. I do think both teams were affected by the weather. I'm not pulling a Jurgen Klopp comment and saying that the cut of the grass caused my team not to win. I do think the pace of the match was affected by the ridiculous torrential downpour that was happening during the game. So I think that contributed to it being boring. But I do think Man United had a decent game. Taking that into the Arsenal fixture, I think Man United still have the weakness of not having a winger who can get in behind. Chelsea came there, sat back and defended, and we weren't able to create clear-cut chances or sufficient clear-cut chances because again we weren't able to get behind. Check out my previous video on Man United, the fall of a dynasty. I highlight that issue in a lot more detail. But yeah, I think that's a problem plaguing Man United. But yeah, I will save the prediction for the end. But I do think massive downfall from what this match used to mean from growing up watching Keown assaulting. Yes, I said assaulting Van Nistelrooy. Patrick Vieira in the tunnel.
Can I get a bucket for you for your tears?
Yeah. Patrick Vieira and Roy Keane having a bust up before the match even started. They didn't even get out of the tunnel before that rivalry kicked off. I just don't think it is where it used to be. How about you?
Well, same feelings. I mean, yeah. I mean, there's no even comparison to what Arsenal used to be and what we are right now. I mean, we finished 8th last season, our lowest league finish in my lifetime, or since I started watching football. I don't know what to expect. Against Leicester, we lost 1-0. First half, we created a few chances. We had a perfectly good goal disallowed from offside. I mean, what's the point of VAR if we can't get decisions right? But we're going to have this conversation every week. But keeping that aside, Lacazette, bro, come on. Clear-cut chance, like any striker in any form should be scoring that. It was an absolute sitter. And for some reason, he looked at Tierney it baffled me that he was almost complaining about the cross. No, bro, that cross was perfect. At that pace, you could have put a shoulder, a head, a nose, anything on that ball, and it's a goal. The cross took out everyone. So we had a few chances. We didn't take them. And Brendan Rodgers, credit to him, came with the perfect game plan. Sit back, take it to 0-0 till you bring on Vardy. And as soon as you saw Mustafi come on, Vardy was rubbing his hands. It was like, there we go. And surprise, surprise, he goes and scores a goal from the right side where Mustafi should be marking. I don't know how he left Vardy completely open. And I mean, creativity, I mentioned this again and again. We do look solid defensively. Well, not with Mustafi in the side, but David Luiz looked really good and then he got injured. He was our most creative player. He was spraying passes to Tierney and Tierney was bringing cross. As soon as he went off, the whole game changed. Again, I'm going back to the creativity. Anyone that saw the team news would have been happy with it. Most fans were happy with it. So we have the right players we think should be playing in those positions. Then what is it? I think it's the tactics. And as much as I love Arteta, he needs to do something. He needs to make a change. He needs to try something new to get the goals. But we haven't scored in the last 2 Premier League games, and that is a concern. We lost 1-0 to City, 1-0 to Leicester. And I see this going into the United game. Unless Arteta changes something dramatically, we had Partey, Xhaka, Ceballos all playing in a line. Who's going to make the runs? Who's going to provide the space in between? Lacazette was dropping so deep and there was nothing else. Our strikers are out of form. None of them look like they're going to score. Aubameyang hasn't scored in 5 Premier League games now, which is his longest run since November 2014 or something like that. Ridiculous. So he's in his poorest form ever for Arsenal. And Pepe, I mean, he came on, didn't do much. Saka, 19-year-old kid, is our best attacking threat. How can we rely? A big club like Arsenal should not be relying on a 19-year-old kid. As good as he is, he will not perform to that level every game. He will have off days, and the poor kid has been doing his best, but no one around him is supporting. Tierney is the only one who helps him out on the left flank. The right flank is dead. Bellerin has chipped in with a couple of assists, but that's not enough. From midfield, we have absolutely no creativity. So Arteta needs to come up with something. I am worried about the United game. I'm not going to lie. We haven't won at Old Trafford. Do you know when was the last time Arsenal beat United Old Trafford? Do you have any idea when that was?
Is that the FA Cup, Danny Welbeck?
No, I'm talking about the Premier League. Yeah, but there was the FA Cup.
No?
2006. It's been 14 years.
Cool.
Yeah, I went back and I was actually checking. And that was the time I think Ramsey scored. No, it might have been later. Sorry. No, that was the one Ramsey scored. I think it was later, 2009 or 2010. Either way, it's been like a decade. We haven't.
And this is a Man United team that have been gifting wins at Old Trafford to everybody.
No, look, we came when David Moyes was there, right? We're like, okay, this is a good opportunity. Didn't happen. Van Gaal was there. We're like, okay, this is a good.
And his wing backs.
Yeah, didn't happen. So, and now that United look a little more settled under Ole, I can't see us picking up anything from the way we have been playing. And I know it's a bit reactionary, but... And then another thing I need to mention is the Mesut Ozil saga. I think that has had an impact on the players. They look a little demotivated. Now, we always talk about being loyal to the club, which is great. I love Arsenal. I'd always love Arsenal first before any other player. But when your club, or you see like your club is treating players badly, questions need to be asked. You're telling me that the squad that was named for the Premier League, Mesut Ozil cannot get in that ahead of Willock, ahead of I don't know, like Elneny, ahead of how many other, I can name 5 players. That's not a footballing reason. That's all the shenanigans that I've had behind the scenes, behind, not off the pitch problems the reason he's been cast out. I don't give a shit how much money he gets paid. That's not the issue here. It's what needs to be on the pitch. And I'm not saying that Mesut Ozil will come and solve all our problems. No, he will not. But you need to have him at least on the bench. You never know. He has the quality. He has the experience. Rather than relying on kids to provide you with the creativity, you can turn to him, and he might not run back and chase 40 yards balls. But if teams are sitting on a low block, right, and we have no one to unlock that key pass, then of course you have to question why he's not in the team. You have to. And I don't think we're going to see him. So that's why Arteta needs to come up with a plan B. We lack creativity, like the second half we were short of ideas. We had no idea how to unlock the Leicester team. But yeah, that's all. And yeah, we've fallen so far from where we used to be, and I don't know, there's a whole lot of issues that need to be tackled. And Arteta, I know he's a young manager and it's his first job. He has got a lot on his plate. And if his mentality is the way I think he is, then he will come out of it. But I think it's going to take so much time. And I know I predicted top 4 for Arsenal, but I think I was just being a little bit over optimistic, seeing Partey come on. But I think the issues are so deep rooted within the club. It's going to take a long, long time to get out of it. And Arteta is not an experienced manager, so he's also learning on the job. So there will be ups and downs. It's going to be a very, very bumpy ride. So Arsenal fans, hold on tight. But yeah, that's all I have to say about this fixture. And yeah, and if you want to add anything, I'm not sure, or you can give me your prediction of what you think will happen.
Look, I think the Man United team have found they found a rhythm. They found a style of play that Ole was criticized. Fans consistently asking, "What are we trying to do? How are we trying to play?" Fred and Scott McTominay at the base of that midfield
They look
have
good.
run
They look good. I must say.
exceptionally hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've worked really hard, and what they've done is they've helped out our fullbacks, and because they've not let Wan-Bissaka and Luke Shaw be isolated, it's made a defense. It's made a big impact on us defensively. It's made us a lot more solid defensively, and it's something for us to build on going forward. I know, I understand the questions around Donny van der Beek, and I also want to see him play, but there will be time for him to play, but it's about balance. It's not about putting players in because you have players there. Paul Pogba is currently sitting on a bench at Man United. Donny van der Beek is not better than Paul Pogba. I know there's a lot of questions about Paul Pogba's attitude, and Man United fans, there's a lot of fans that don't like him and all of. Well, I'm not going to get into that right now, but Paul Pogba is a World Cup winner and he's sitting on the bench. So Donny van der Beek is still a kid. There'll still be time for him to play. I think people need to just calm down in the situation. There's a long way for us to go in the season. And I think he will get his chance. I would be interested to see whether Edison Cavani gets a start against Arsenal. I still feel when he came on the pitch, he almost scored with his first touch, but
Yeah, he did.
not enough crosses were put into the box. I think he got one cross. He got his foot to it first. Thiago Silva made a block, and two chances, and he's had two efforts, shall we call it, on goal. He is a predatory centre forward, but we don't have the wingers to be able to utilize a man like Edison Cavani. So I see United going with Mata and Rashford either side in that game once again. Mason Greenwood seems to be back in the fold. So I do think Man United tactically are looking stronger. I don't think we've fixed all our problems, as I mentioned before. But yeah, I think United definitely do have a shout in this game, facing Arsenal at a time when they're not in the greatest run of form. There's something that before we get to the prediction, we mentioned earlier the sort of decline that this once great rivalry, where it used to be and where it is now. There was a time when we were having arguments about who's the best goalkeeper in the Premier League, Peter Schmeichel or David Seaman. Who's the best right back in the Premier League? Is it Gary Neville or is it Lauren or
Lauren,
the name of the Arsenal right back is escaping me. There was another right, Lee
Nigel
Dixon.
Winterburn. Lee Dixon, sorry. Nigel Winterburn.
Lee Dixon.
Was it left left back, sorry.
Who's the best left back? Is it Evra? Is it Ashley Cole? Who's the best central midfielder? Vieira, Keane. And the list continues to go on and on and on and on. I have a question for you right now. If you look at the Arsenal squad currently, and I'll give you my take on Man United as well. Based on form, I'm not talking about names, because I think if we look at names, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, you put him into any best League 11 that he plays in because of the type of player that he is. Let's look at form. How many players in the Arsenal team do you think can put their hands up and say, I'm arguably the best player in my position in the Premier League?
This is going to be controversial, and I'm sure viewers out there might disagree on this, but I watch my team play, and I'll say it again. Gabriel is a young centre back, and I know he hasn't played much football, but like you said, on form, we have one of the best defensive records. Even though we're not scoring goals, we aren't conceding many, and all our goals have come from mistakes from other defenders, not him. Even the Leicester game, it was he was the only one who was actually at the back trying to hold on to one player, and there was a gap on the whole other side of the pitch. So Gabriel, for me, will be the only one on form right now that can be considered the best because there aren't many good centre backs. Let's be real. We can have a whole show on this. So because the lack of quality with centre backs, I think Gabriel definitely has a massive shout. And that's all. Like you said, Aubameyang, he hasn't been scoring or performing, so I can't put him in there. But apart from that, and Partey, it's too early to say anything how he will do. So yeah, that's the only player. You said you had a couple.
Yeah, look, okay, firstly, I don't think Gabriel is a controversial pick. I think that on form, Arsenal do have one of the better defensive records in the Premier League, and the ball is round, and if he's stopping the ball from that round ball from going into his net, it doesn't matter whether he's a youngster, whether he's only played 5 games on current form. I think that's a justifiable pick. Yeah, I think for Man United, I think Aaron Wan-Bissaka is just a solid right back. I think that his tackling it's almost unreal. I know his nickname is Spider-Man, and I've got my heart in my mouth every time he lunges in. But he has really good timing of a tackle, and I think that he can. I'm not saying he's the best right back in the Premier League, but I do think that I can throw his name out there and not be laughed at in terms of picking who one of the best right backs in the league is. And I think the second player is Bruno Fernandes. He's at the heart of every good thing that Man United does, and I don't think that there's considering the fact that Kevin De Bruyne is injured currently.
I was just going to say,
I don't think that there
on
is
form, yes, definitely.
An attacking midfielder in the Premier League that is as good as Bruno Fernandes is for, and as impactful for his club as Fernandes is. But that's it. So we've gone from arguing about Schmeichel and Seaman, Winterburn and
Henry Van
Dennis
Nistelrooy,
Owen, Van Nistelrooy,
I mean, the list
Ronaldo,
is massive.
Ljungberg, Perez, Giggs. We've now come down to
it's quite depressing, man, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
it's 3
shocking.
players out of a combined 50 man squad from Arsenal and Man United. 3 players who,
That's
to
sad.
die-hard fans who are biased at our very core, whether we want
Like
to admit it or not.
Yeah.
That's 3 players out of 50 that we believe can cut it with the best in the Premier League. I think this derby has come has dropped a fairly far distance. I think it's safe to say.
Yeah. Also because Wenger and Ferguson have gone now. There was because of that the rivalry did arise from those 2 managers, and the fact that they're gone now and the club is slowly moving out of what they stood for in terms of the football value and the culture. We have both clubs have moved out of that and are moving out, so that's why the rivalry is a bit dead. It's not as fierce as it used to be. I mean, I'm not going to start bantering United for a top 4 place or a top 6 finish.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. We will always banter each other, but it wouldn't have as much meaning to it, as much emotion to it. It's just bantering for the sake of bantering and talking about it from the past. We are living from past rivalry. It is a past rivalry. I mean, currently, yes, we're rivals in terms of top 4, but it doesn't mean much.
It's 2 clubs that shouldn't really be competing for top 4, is it? That's not what was not where these clubs were.
Nope.
15 years ago, 10 years ago. It's 2 clubs that they either won the Premier League or they didn't. And now I understand, and I'm not saying that making top 4 is not important for Man United or Arsenal. It is, but that's because of the state of the 2 clubs. It's not where they should be. So I'm not taking anything away from top 4.
Remember when top 4 was just a given? Like, remember those days?
Yeah.
Where we were privileged. Like, I would be upset if we finished 4th. We wanted to win the league every season. Now I'll be flipping happy if we even got anywhere near the top 4. But anyways, I think we've run out of time. Bro, quick prediction and then we can say our goodbyes.
I think Arsenal are are shit. I think they were shit 15 years ago. I think that
Yeah,
they
sure. We
freeze when
we
they
won
come
the
to
league
Old
at Old
Trafford.
Trafford, but okay.
Yeah, Henry was shit, Perez was shit, Vieira was shit. I think you're still shit. Yeah,
Okay,
and
bro, stop
on
wasting
that
people's
note,
time and predict.
uh, on that note, I'm going to go 1-0 Man United. I think both teams, much like the Chelsea game, are going to set up defensively. Arsenal do have a good defensive record. They might not be scoring a lot of goals right now. And yeah, I think 1-0 Bruno Fernandes penalty.
Yeah, well, that's not difficult to predict, is it? Well, I'm going for actually a 2-0 win. I hate this to United. I'm just so, like, after watching that dreadful performance, I can't be positive. And most of my predictions have been wrong, so I hope I'm wrong in terms of the result, not the scoreline. And if Mustafi is playing, then you guys are going to have a good time. Captain Marcus Rashford, he's going to get like 2 or 3 goals. So if Mustafi is playing, it's 3-0. If he's not, then yeah, I agree 1 or 2-0. But I can't see us winning. The best we can get out of it is a draw. So on that bleak note for Arsenal fans, I'm going to end it here and let's see what happens. Hopefully I'm wrong. And thank you, Triv, for coming on. And I'm sure you are looking forward to it, not as much as in previous years when we used to be good, but still a good game to watch.
Yeah, mate. On that note, I would like to say that the difference between Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Jose Mourinho is that I look forward to watching Man United games. Now I know we're not going to win every single game that we play, but we're not negative. The club's not crumbling from the inside. We're not the best in the world, but yeah, I am looking forward to watching every game.
Okay. Thanks, Triv, for being on. Thank you, everyone, for watching and who's still with us. Thank you so much. Please, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, like, share. Like I said, this channel is for everyone, every fan. If you want to come on the show, all our
not so much
will be in the
Liverpool fans, but yeah.
We'll actually have one next week. So hold that thought. Hold that thought. But yeah, thank you for tuning in and take care. Enjoy the rest of the fixtures. Goodbye.